This video is going to be a review over table building, proportionality, linear, all the stuff we're doing in Unit 2 for the first quiz. Okay, first off, write an equation that describes the relationship between the corresponding values of x and y shown below, and it says to fill in the table. Well, first off, if you haven't done it already, then I would go through and pause the video and do it now. First thing you're going to do is delta y. The change in y is plus 3. Right here is plus 6. Then I have, what is this? This is plus 9. Okay, well these are not the same, but that's okay. That's not what you need to look at. You got to look at delta x. The change in x right here is plus 1, plus 2, and plus 3. Now you need to take delta y over delta x. And I go here and I take 3 over the x number, which is 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3. The next one is 6 over 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Well, first off, I know that this is linear because all of these are the same. So yes, because delta y over delta x is the same or consistent. You can say that. Okay. Then they want you to find the equation. So as we go up here, I have 3, and then I take it times my x. Okay, so right now I'll go through and I'll multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. What do you need to do to 12 to get to 13? Add 1. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. So I believe my equation is y equals 3x plus 1. Now you need to make sure you go in and double check, and that you need to go in there into y equals and put in there 3x plus 1 and press second graph, and you want to make sure that all these points are in there. That you see 4, 13, 5, 16, 7, 22, and so on. Once you have that, then you know you're correct. Now, as we go on, it asks, is it proportional? The answer is no. And how do you know? Because the constant is not 0. See, another way to try and figure this out to give you a clue when you're looking at this, if the constant's 0, it goes through the origin. The ordered pair for the origin is 0, 0. See how there's 2 zeros? Look at this. 0, 0 in the word proportional. Just kind of some tricks trying to help you figure out how to remember what proportional means. The next two, okay, so I'm going to write my equation, which was, okay, let's write y equals 3x plus 1. Answer these next two questions. It says, what is, if the x value is 12, so I'll build, oh, I'm holding my board crazy here, that's why it's kind of writing crazy. Okay, so if I go up here and I build my table and I have x then y, my x number is 12, what is my y number? Well, let's go in here, I've already got it in there, and I'm going to look and see where x is 12, y is 37. Now, if I was working this out by hand, which is what the calculator is doing it for us, but I have 3 times x. X is 12 plus 1. Well, 3 times 12 is 36 plus 1. That's 37. That's where we're coming up with our answer. The next one down here says, what if the value is negative 29? So right here, when I go in here, if the y value is negative 29, what is the value of x? So it would be the same as saying 3x plus 1 equals negative 29. I need to Subtract 1 from each side. I have 3x equals negative 30. And I need to divide by 3. X equals negative 10. Well, so I think my answer is negative 10. You can do it this way or go in the calculator. And you go up here. And you go and look and see where y is negative 29. Oh, I can't go up in the y column. So let me see here. Let me go over. Uh-oh, what did I do here? Oh, I erased it all. I've got to have 3x plus 1. And I've got second graph. So let's see here. I'm going to go back and go up to try and find where it's negative 29. Y is negative 29. X is 10. So my answer is correct, and you can use the calculator for that. The next problem. Right here, you want to find the rule, find the equation, figure out if it's proportional or linear. And what you need to do here, you're looking at your ordered pairs. First thing you need to do is find out what the ordered pairs are. 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have negative 4, 4. The next one right here, negative 2, 0. Down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, negative 4. And this one is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 8. So I have negative 4 and 4. I have negative 2 and 0. 0, negative 4, and 2 and 8. So now we fill in the table. This is what we need to do. The questions they're going to ask us, let's see if I can get down here. Is it linear? What's the equation? And is it proportional? Okay, so look at those. Is it linear? What's the equation? And is it proportional? So let's look up here. The first thing we need to do, we got to figure out delta y over delta x. So the change in y right here is minus 4, minus 4. And you know what? I had this ordered pair wrong. It should be negative 8 because I'm down here at the bottom. I thought I messed up there. All right. Then I have negative 4. Delta x, the change in x, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Delta y over delta x, negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. They're the same all the way down. So yes, it is linear. And how do we know? Because delta y over delta x is the same. So I'm going to put negative 2 all the way down here. And then I'm going to put my x number. Negative 4, negative 2, I've got 0, and I've got 2. You can choose any one of these to multiply. I always choose the 0 because it's easier. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. What do you need to do to 0 to get to negative 4? Well, you need to subtract 4. So that should be my constant all the way down. So let's go and check. All right, let's see. If I go up here, I am going to put in there negative 2 x minus 4. And I'm going to press second graph. And now I've got negative 4 and 4. Well, here we go. Let's see. Negative 4 and 4. Negative 2 and 0. 0, negative 4, and 2, negative 8. Okay, so now that I know I'm correct, my equation is y equals negative 2x minus 4. Now I already could tell you right here, looking at my line, that this is non-proportional. I know, good line, right? It is non-proportional because if it was proportional, it would go through 0, 0. Right there, and it does not go through 0, 0. So it is not proportional. The next one. There's the next one. Let's see what other questions they have with this. Oh, no others right now. Okay, so right here, write the equation shown by this diagram. I would go and let me draw in my table and go here and do this because you know I've got x, then y. So I've got delta y, the change in y, is negative 9, negative 9, negative 9. Delta x plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. Delta y over delta x is negative 9 over 3. They are all negative 3. So if you go and see this, they are all the same, so it is linear. And how do you know it's linear? Because delta y over delta x is the same. Since it is linear, we can find the equation. So I've got negative 3 that I'll put all the way down here. And I'm going to go through and put my variables with it, negative 1 and 2. And you can go down and finish this, but I need just the first part. Negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. What do you need to add or subtract to positive 3 to get to 8? Add 5. So remember, I think my equation is y equals negative 3x plus 5. Well, you need to go in your calculator and double check. So right here, I'll go to y equals. Remember, and you go in there and put in there negative 3x plus 5. And second, did I put, yep, there we go. And I put a second graph and double check and make sure that these points are in there. Now, if you press graph, you're going to see what the graph looks like. Now, what if I asked you looking at this graph if it's proportional? Well, if it's proportional, it crosses 0, 0. It goes to the origin. This is not proportional. I also know that because there's a plus 5 right there. The next one, it gives me some ordered pairs. Oh, I'm trying to move this thing down and double check. All right, let's see if I can move some of these up so we can make it a little easier to see all in one screen. Okay. So now, make a table and show your process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to make my table. And I have 2, negative 9, 4, negative 8, 6, negative 7, 8, negative 6. Well, now I'm going to do delta y over delta x. So let's see, I've got plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Right here is plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Delta y over delta x, it's 1 over 2. If you put that in the calculator, it's 0.5 all the way down, but I'm going to use 1/2. So first off, is it linear? Yes. Why? Because delta y over delta x is the same. So I'm going to put 1/2 in here. And then I'm going to multiply it by my variable, by my x. Remember, that's my x. 2. And I'm going to multiply these two things together. When you multiply them, and some people go, well, how do I multiply them? Well, if you really don't know and you need, you should be able to figure out what half of 2 is. But if not, you can go in here on your calculator, type in there 1, divide 2, put in parentheses, put 2 in there, and press enter. Gives you 1. Well, that makes sense because half of 2 is 1. So right here, if this is 1, what do you have to do to 1 to be at negative 9? Subtract 10. All the way down. So my equation, it is linear, so my equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 10. It is not proportional because the constant is negative 10. Or you could put it in the calculator and press graph and see that it does not go through 0, 0. Next, right here, which of the following equations includes the data shown? Now, you can do one of a couple things. You can go through and build a table and find your equation. So I've got 1, 2, negative 5, 3, negative 11. Okay, you really don't have to do all of them, but you could find, your equations from this part right here. Delta y is negative 6, negative 6, delta x, plus 1, plus 1. So I get delta y over delta x, and I have negative 6 over 1, which is negative 6. Heck, this is the only one with a negative 6. My answer will be C. But the other way you could do that is to go in the calculator, go to y equals, and type in, say you do 6x plus 7. Let's try the first one. 6x plus 7. Press second graph. Okay, and let's look and see if these points are here. The first point is 1, 1. Well, right here, that says 1 and 13. So that would, if I was doing this, I would cross off A, because that can't be the right answer. So then I'll go ahead and skip to C, but I can go in there and I would just put in negative 6x plus 7 and press second graph. And look in my table for 1, 1, which is there, 2, negative 5, 3, negative 11, and 4, negative 17. You can do it that way as well. Okay, here's the next one. Pause the video, answer some of these questions, and then let's see how you do. This one says that Mark is buying music online. Each song he downloads costs $1.29. This is going to be my coefficient. It says a one-time program download fee for $15. Remember, a one-time fee is your constant. You can do one of a couple things. You can go through and you can build a table and say at first with 0 songs it's going to cost you $15 just to get the program. To download one song, you have to pay the $15 and the $1.29, so it's $16.29. And if you built a table, you could go through and do that, and then do delta y over delta x. This situation, yes, it is linear, because I am increasing by a consistent amount. I am increasing by the same amount every time. Is it proportional? No, it is not proportional. How do I know? Because the constant is $15. If the function is linear, what is the equation? Well, again, you can take your table and do your equation, or y equals, I know that I've got $1.29 times x, now plus 15. The next problem is that my students, you guys are going through and you're taking 15 times x. You put x by whatever you are getting charged for each download. You are not getting charged $15 for every song. That is just the one-time fee for the program. Now, when I come over here, and it says if Mark is buys a program and downloads 25 songs, 25 goes here. So you would be taking $1.29 times 25 plus 15 to get your answer. Or go in your calculator and put in there 129, 1.29, x plus 15. And press second graph. And let's go look and see where x is 25. And my answer comes over here. Well, where'd my pen go? There we go. Is 47.25. Okay, so it's 47.25. On the next one, it says, what if you had $150 to spend? Well, if you're talking about the money you spend, that goes in the y. That's $1.50. That's my y number. See, now I could take $1.29 x plus 15, set it equal to 150, and I could solve for x to get my answer. That's how you would do it by hand. I can go in the calculator and go and look where I would run into 150. I would have to click, click, click. Let's see. Keep going, keep going. Keep going. It's easier for y'all. My pen doesn't click so fast. No! Stop, machine. Okay, it's freaking out on me. All right, let's try this again. Let's go backwards. Let's see here. Make sure I go slow enough. All right, I'm getting closer. All right, you see how it doesn't have exactly 150? It has 150. So what is it? That's 150, 45. It only has over here 150, 45. And then right above it, it says 149, 16. Okay, so when you look at this, how many can I download? Well, this is in between. You've got 104 and 105. If you only have $150 and you cannot borrow from anybody else, do I have enough money right here? I don't. I have to go and I can only get 104 songs. So 104 would be my answer because I can't go over the 150 that I have. Oh, I skipped it again. Here's the next one. Let's see. Okay, we'll pause. I thought I could move that up. First off, it wants to know if the data is linear. So the first thing you're going to do is delta y. The change in y right here is 0.5. Again, I'm adding 0.5. I'm adding 0.5. Delta x plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, so I've got delta y over delta x. I've got 0.5 over 2. Well, I go in here to my home screen, and if you really think about it, what's half of 50 cents? That's what it's saying. But I go up here and I put 0.5 divided by 2 and press enter. So I get 0.25. Is the data linear? Yes. And it says if it's linear, what's the equation? Right here when I have my table, I'm just going to use one of the points, 2 and 1, and I get 0.25 times 2. Well, so we're going to go up here, and I'm going to move this over just a little bit. I've got 0.25 times 2, and press enter. I get 0.5. Okay, so with 0.5, oh, this has got to go away here. So multiplying these two together, I get 0.5. Oh, well, duh, that makes sense. It's 50 cents. What do you have to do to 50 cents? What do you have to add to it to get to $1? Well, you got to add 50 cents. So my equation is y equals 0.25 x plus 0.5. Now, if f of x equals 66, what is the value of x? Well, f of x means y equals 66. So if I have this, if y is 66, one way you can do it is 0.25x plus 0.5 equals 66 and solve for x. Or I go into the calculator, I press second graph, where'd it go here? Second graph, and I go and I look to see, let me go back here, I'm going to go, oh, I guess I need to put the right one in there, don't I? I've got 0.25 x plus 0.5. You really should check it before you do anything else. I'm going to go second window. I'm going to go back in there to 0. Second graph. I'm looking to see where y is 66. I've got to go up, and it looks like I'm going to be going up for a little while, so I'll just make a guess here, and second window and put in there 50. Second graph. Not even close. Let's go second window. Let's type in there 100. Oh, where'd my pen go? Second. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, I put 1,000 in there? I didn't mean to do that. That's 200. So I go to y equals, second window, type in there 100, second graph. It's only 25. Second window, let's go in there and put in there 200. Second graph. That's 50. Let's try 250. I am totally just guessing numbers because we're just going to go and see when we get close. We got close. So now there's 66. And my X number is 262. So it should be 262. Remember, as a reminder, that f of x equals is the same as y equals. And another thing, let's try this. One of the things would be people are like, why do you write f of x? Well, one of the things you can do is say you have f of x equals 2x plus 3. And I said, what is f of 3? What that means is I take this right here. This is, see where the x is? This is where the 3 is. So I'll put a 3 in here for x. So I'm going to have 2 times, instead of x, I'm going to put 3 in there. And then I'm going to put plus 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3, that's 9. So f of 3 equals 9. And what that means is when I have x then y, this is my x number. So I have 3, and then when x is 3, y is 9. Well, let's try another one just for fun. If I have f of x equals 6x minus 2, and I say, what is f of, no, not x, hold on, let me write that in there right. What if I say, what is f of 2? Well, I get 6 times 2 minus 2. I get 12 minus 2, and that's 10. So this is my x number. This is my y number. So my ordered pair, if I had to write it as an ordered pair, would be 210. Try one more. What about f of x equals negative x minus 4? And I said, what's f of negative 1? Well, this equals negative x. The opposite of x, and x is negative 1, and then minus 4. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. So I have positive 1 minus 4. That equals negative 3. I would have x would be negative 1, and y would be negative 3.